مصلحا ومجددا فارنوا بنظر طاهر وجنان.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thanks a lot, Brother Sahib. By the names Nambaale Bashir, just as you have mentioned, and my background, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I was raised in a Muslim family, though never heard of anything about Jamaat Ahmadiyya in my infant stage or the previous time. How did I come to join Jamaat Ahmadiyya is what I'm going to share with you. Briefly, before joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was raised in a Muslim family, so I had some knowledge about Islam. I studied in Islamic schools throughout my primary, leaving a school or leaving education, and some bit of a secondary school. So that helped me a lot, to the extent that I was the alim of the family. Anything pertaining Islam, they had to consult me. They had to get the answers from me, simply because they took me to Islamic school and attained something out of it. Before I joined Jamaat Ahmadiyya, we all travelers, you know that we are travelers. I had traveled to Sudan for business matters. I had some business there. I went to Sudan. Leaving Uganda, everyone at home was in a good state. Reaching Sudan, in a duration of 3 months only, we lost it was 3 months or less. We lost 3 relatives of mine, and unfortunately I couldn't attend any of their burials. I lost my grandmother, she's the one that died first. I lost my uncle, a brother to my mom, and I lost my brother, the one that comes just after me. Of all the people I lost, he's the one I loved most, the brother of mine. Losing him, I thought I had lost the entire world. It is a custom here in Africa, more so in Uganda, that whenever someone dies, people think there must be somehow a bad omen caused by witchcraft. It was the same case with us. Remember, none of us was an Ahmadi except our mom, who was a born Ahmadi, but because she got married to a Sunni man, the influence of our father was too high, to the extent that our mom couldn't utter anything like Ahmadiyya. So our father was a Sunni, our mom was an Ahmadi. And actually, the time I joined Jamaat Ahmadiyya, I blamed my mom. Why in the world? What in the world were you doing all this long? We have grown up. I have beards. That you had not told us anything about Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Well, she didn't have any answer. but the Amir and missionary in charge, Uganda, Rwanda, told me, is the one that answered that question and told me that no, don't blame your mom. This was the right time for you to join Jamaat Ahmadiyya. But before that, I was in Sudan, like I told you, lost a number of relatives, among which was my brother who I loved so much. As the family, we thought that someone is practicing witchcraft against us. And that person was the wife to my late uncle. We hated the wife. We hated the woman so much to the extent that every one of us didn't want the lady to stay in her late husband's house. With a mentality that she's the one that has caused the death of the three most loved members of the family. After some time, after the demise of my relatives, the brother, the last born of ours, used to ring me, used to call me, the big brother, demons are killing me. Demons, jinns, ghosts of the late relatives want to take me with them. They want me to join them. I'm having sleepless nights. I told him, big brother, young brother, little brother. Actually, in telling me this, he was looking for some relief, some medicine. He knew I had some knowledge about Islam, so he thought that maybe I can help with my knowledge. I can help him out. So I told him, brother, maybe by the time you go to sleep, you do not read such and such a dua. He asked me for the duas. I sent him the duas. He started reading those duas, and surprisingly, I thought they worked out for him. After some time, he called again. He told me, brother, last time I called you, it was jinns, ghosts of our late relatives disturbing me, uncle, grandmother, our brother. But now, every time I wake up in the morning, a half of my side is paralyzed. I don't know what could be the problem. I thought that maybe this time round the jinns are getting stronger. The demons, the ghosts are getting stronger and stronger. I gave him other surahs to read out before he went to sleep. After some time, he never called me again with anything concerning the demons. Time came when we had to look for a better school for my brother. Actually, he was done with his primary school, and we were in search of an Islamic school that where our brother could attain some Islamic knowledge. Like I told you in the beginning, we knew nothing. I personally didn't know anything about Jamaat Ahmadiyya, and I thank Allah for that. Why? If I knew anything about Jamaat Ahmadiyya, maybe I couldn't join Jamaat today. We went, looked for an Islamic school. Coincidentally, we came across the Ahmadiyya Muslim High School here in the capital, Kampala. Like I told you, we didn't look at the word Ahmadiyya. We maybe thought it was a name for someone. Our interest was in the word Muslim or Islamic. So we thought we had found the right school. It's not far away from the city because it's where we're living as well. We took our brother, registered him, and he was admitted. Everyone was happy. After a certain period of time, I had to get back to Uganda. Coming back to Uganda, I went home, visited my mom, dad, sisters. There is a sister of ours, my big sister, who was also possessed. That was the mentality actually. Who was also possessed by jinns. It was the mentality by then. Who was also possessed by demons. Reaching out to her, everyone was looking at me as the possible solution to what was happening to my sister. I was the alim of the family. I read all the du'as. I made ruqya out of the surahs that I knew, the knowledge that I had about fighting the demons. That was the mentality by then. So I started. I spoke with her. She was responding. She was fighting. And the ruqya didn't work out very well in the first place. But I remembered I was taught by our Sunni mullahs in our previous sect that jinns or demons are good at hiding. So whenever you try to fight them and they insist or persist or refuse to show any sign that they will leave, in your ruqya, as you read into it, you have to put some salt. After putting some salt, you give her some drops, or you give the patient some drops to drink. After she drinks those drops and there is no sign that the demons are leaving, then you drop a few drops in the nose. If the demons still persist, you now drop into the ears. I did all that. And the last thing I could do was these fingers in the nails here. These fingers in the nails here. Jinns tend to hide a lot. That is what we were taught. They hide in these nails here. So what you do, you fix your nails like this and squeeze a lot. They'll shout out loud, "Leave us alone, we are leaving, let's go, we are going, please forgive us." So that's what I did. By Allah's grace, surprisingly, my sister got back to normal. So I started boasting around, thinking that, yeah, after all, I was the alim of the family. But my brother was just laughing, laughing at us. We all didn't know why. But remember, that was a holiday and he was coming back from the Ahmadiyya Muslim High School. He was laughing, and we didn't know why he was laughing. The next day, he paid me a visit at home. Actually, I was independent. I had come to visit them at home. Them at home just after I came back from Sudan. The following day, he came at my place where I used to stay. He came. We had a chat. He asked me, brother. Actually, he told me, not asked me. There are some concepts in Islam that you knew otherwise, that you misunderstood. I looked at him and said, what? What did you just say? He told me there are some concepts in Islam that you misunderstood, that you knew the wrong way. I asked him for example. He told me, take an example of the concept of Jesus Christ, Son of Mary. Where do you think Jesus Christ is? I told him Jesus Christ is in heaven with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He told me, wow, good enough you believe in the Holy Quran, right? I told him yes. And the ahadith of the Holy Prophet, right? I told him, of course. Well, if that's the case, please, with the evidence from the Holy Quran, please prove that Jesus Christ is in heaven. We all know the verse of the Holy Quran. Our brothers, the only verse that they use when it comes to this argument, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقولهم إنا قتلنا المسيح عيسى بن مريم وما قتلوه وما صلبوه, is the verse that I read out to my brother. He laughed. He told me, what's the interpretation? What's your interpretation? I told him the verse is clear. They intended to kill him, but they killed him not, nor crucified him. He asked me who wanted to kill him. I told him the Jews. Well, you are right 100%. The Jews didn't kill him. Their pursuit to kill Jesus Christ, alayhi salam, son of Mary, didn't go through. They failed. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. They didn't kill him, nor did they crucify him. I asked him, Swalab, what's the meaning? He told me crucifixion. And asked me, what is the meaning of crucifixion? I told him, putting someone on the cross, full stop. He told me, you are wrong. Maybe your English teacher didn't do enough. Check the English dictionary, the meaning of the word crucifixion. I checked the dictionary. The dictionary told me crucifixion means killing someone on the cross. In other words, putting someone on that wooden, a cross, and he dies on that cross. That's crucifixion. I accepted. I was wondering. My secular education was a bit higher compared to his, but he was teaching me English. We went ahead with the conversation. Till I reached a certain portion of the verse. بَلْ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took him to himself. exalted him, raised him to himself. Now that's where the problem came in. A lot of questions arose. First of all, do you know where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is? Do you know what he tried to mean here? Well, we all, and you as well inclusive, pray in salah. Rabbi ighfirli warhamni warzuqni wajburni wahdini wa'afini warfa'ni. It's the same prayer that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray. Warfa'ni, and raise me and exalt me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never answered Prophet Muhammad's prayer? For it's the prayer that Prophet Muhammad taught us. I said, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala couldn't. He told me now, the exalt or the raise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking of here in this verse. After all, do you know where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is? I told him he's in heaven, seated on his arush. He laughed out loud, laughed. Allah seated, just as I am seated. He laughed. We went on with the discussion. I told him, brother, well, you are refuting my verse. Please, can you provide yours that shows that Jesus alayhi salam is alive and in heaven? I mean, is dead and on earth? He told me, brother, وما محمد إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل. Muhammad is nothing but a prophet. He asked me, brother, do you call Muhammad anything besides that? Is he an angel? Of course, I told him no. Allah is very right. He's just a prophet. Nothing more than that, nothing beyond. قد خلت من قبله الرسل. All prophets before him died, passed away. I told him, but Jesus Christ is not dead. He told me Allah said all prophets before him died. If you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a mistake, then correct him. Here's the Quran. Where do you think he missed something? قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. He's saying prophets before him died, with no exception of any. So do you want to correct Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I said, God forbid. Impossible. Allah is unmistakable. How then can I correct him? He asked me, do you think he forgot that Jesus was alive by the time he revealed this verse? From there, we came to an agreement that Jesus, Isa ibn Maryam, is dead. He now took me to a topic that was quite more challenging. The topic about the jinns, the demons. The previous day he laughed at me. He laughed at us. He saw us busy dramatizing that we are fighting evil spirits. That had obsessed my sister, my big sister. He asked me, brother, what do you think jinns are? Jinni. What comes in your mind when someone speaks or talks about that word jinni? I told him, of course, jinns are those beings or those creatures that are invisible but have superpowers to do almost each and everything, have powers to change to anything they would like. In other words, my mentality was, if I were a jinn, I could turn myself into you, and one could say that it's you, yet I'm you. That was the mentality. So I gave him my view concerning jinns. He tried and tried to explain to me, jinns are invisible beings, jinns are anything that is invisible that can't be seen by our eyes can be referred to as jinns. Anything that is rarely seen by the public can be referred to as jinn. Anything that has a habit of concealment can be referred to as jinn. He told me each and everything. But to be honest, the concept of jinns, like I told you, I was an alim of our family, and at one point, this is the mentality. This was the mentality that I at one point healed someone that was possessed by demons, by evil spirits. That is what I had in mind by then, but I was wrong. It took me a minimum of 1 year to understand this concept of jinns. How did I come to join Jamaat Ahmadiyya? That's the year that I'm talking about. My brother used to invite me on Jamaat functions. Jamaat Ahmadiyya Uganda used to hold a number of functions, and I was invited on so many occasions as a guest. But every time I attended to these functions, I experienced a different world from the previous ones. Every time I came to these functions, the hospitality, the way I was received, despite my arguments, despite my ignorance, but the way my brothers loved me, the way they welcomed me. They were the only Muslims that you could see what they do, not through what they say, but through the practice. What they could say could be seen through what they're doing. Love for all, hatred for none is the slogan. It's fulfilled by them. After some time, I met a number of friends, and one of those friends is a brother of mine who used to give me literature about Jamaat Ahmadiyya to read for free. And actually, I could open, he used to give me a number of books, but I could open only a few pages and return the books back to him. Time came when remember I was receiving them for free, but time came when I had to buy. And surprisingly, it was from that brother of mine that I had to buy those books. And every time I wanted to read a certain book, that is after joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, he told me that, my brother, you had a chance to take, but you returned. So now you have to pay. But before joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, there is another brother still of mine, member of Jamaat Ahmadiyya. He told me, I see you were puzzled. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you're seeking for the right path. And please, go and pray to Him. Ask Him for the right path. He will guide you. I did that. The day came, 2018, August, on the International Bayat Day. Is the day when I signed my bayat. I was so filled with joy in my heart. I felt blessed. I lost a brother whom I thought losing him, I had lost the entire world. But after joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, I felt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaced him with millions of brothers. I joined Jamaat Ahmadiyya. After joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, I faced a number of challenges, among which is the most worrying one. I was married before joining Jamaat Ahmadiyya, but my wife was taken away from me by her relatives. I had to choose between her or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I had to either choose Allah or her. Choose the creator or the creature. Who could go for the creature? No one. I went for my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that having replaced my brother with millions of brothers, He will replace my wife, ex-wife, with a better wife. So briefly, that is my journey to the true Islam. Thanks a lot, Brother Saib. Wassalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If you have not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get notifications for every new video. Also make sure to like and comment on the video and follow on Twitter and Instagram.
سفينا صل على محمد